Okay, we're going to do a lesson today on coordinate graphing, and we're going to talk about Descartes and his feisty flies. So Descartes was a brilliant young man. He was a sick child that ended up spending a lot of time in bed because he was ill all the time, and the doctors and parents were so concerned about him that they decided that he actually needed to stay in bed as much as possible. Now, this was all before the days of Xbox or TV, and books were hard to get. So he spent a lot of time just staring up at his ceiling. While he was staring up at his ceiling, he noticed that there were flies that would land on specific places on his ceiling. And being a bright child, he started to ask a lot of questions about why the world worked the way that it did. And he started to ask himself, if I wanted to describe to somebody where those flies had fallen on my ceiling, where they had stuck themselves on my ceiling, how would I be able to describe to somebody where those flies were? So he came up with something called the coordinate graph. This is a really long time ago, and it's a good thing that he did because it changed the way that we think about math forever. So we're going to have flies today. We've got Lily, Tobias, Faith, and Eduardo. And we are going to use these flies to teach about how to find something called an ordered pair on a coordinate graph. So by the end of the lesson, you're going to be able to correctly identify your ordered pairs. You're going to be able to identify where the origin is. You're going to be able to identify x. You're going to be able to identify y. And you're also going to be able to understand the purpose of a coordinate graph. Okay, so right now, we should know what the purpose of a coordinate graph is, which was to take the position of any object, and if you laid a graph to where that object was, you'd be able to use two numbers that we call x and y to be able to explain where that is, where that object is. Okay, so first thing you need to know is that the coordinate line on the bottom is x, we call it x, and the one on the top is y. So x and y, x and y. When you have something called an ordered pair, that's where you have two numbers that tell you where an item actually is. So it's going to look something like this. X will always be your first number, and y will always be your second number. You will always go over and then up. Over and then up. So we're going to pretend that we're going to take Lily, who is the lightest colored one here, and we're going to place her somewhere on the graph. So would you please do that? Any intersecting line on the graph. Any intersecting line. Okay, very good. All right, go ahead and sit down. So the first thing that we need to know when we're using this is we've got x and y. We always start over and then up. The other thing we need to know is where we start from. Because if we started from here and we counted over, we get a really different number for an ordered pair than if we started here. Now this is called the origin. And we've had that word before. So what does origin mean? Go ahead.
The place where something comes from, the world where it was originated.
Okay, so where something originates from, okay, where something starts. So just like when you're playing a game, you have to start at the beginning. When you are using a coordinate graph, you have to start at origin. Now, the special numbers, the ordered pair for origin, so you never get it screwed up with any other coordinate pair, is 0, 0. Okay, so anytime if you saw on a test or you were trying to figure out what the ordered pair, okay, the group of numbers that tells you where origin is, it's always 0, 0. And when you're counting over onto x, which is always the first step, you are going to make sure that you start at origin. Okay, so we have Lily here, and Lily is, first I go over, and I want to be exactly under where Lily is. So, am I under Lily yet?
No.
No. Here?
No.
Here?
No.
Here?
No.
Here?
No.
Here?
Yes.
Okay, I'm exactly under Lily, so that means my X number is 6. Okay? And now I have to figure out if I wanted to pet Lily, nice Lily. If I wanted to pet Lily, how many do I have to go up? So if I go up 1, 2,
No.
3,
No.
4,
No.
5.
Yes.
All right, I'm right on Lily now. So my coordinate, my ordered pair of where I can find Lily on my coordinate graph is 6, 5. Okay, we're gonna do, let's do Tobias. Neely, would you come up and do Tobias for me, please? Any intersecting line. Any intersecting lines. Okay, so now I've got Tobias. He's my feisty fly. And he is, which way are we gonna go first?
X. Over.
We're gonna go over first. Right. Thank you for raising your hand. We're gonna go over first. So am I under Tobias?
No.
No.
Now?
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 Yes.
Who keeps saying yes for all the other ones? Are you sure?
No, I said yes on that one.
Oh,
On
okay.
6.
So we're good? Yes? Or we're confused?
What color is Tobias?
Tobias is blue. So yay, we're good?
Yeah.
We're confused, or mayday? Okay, you're kind of confused? Okay, so first thing that we have to do is you have to go across on X until you get to where you could go up and pet Tobias. Okay, so you're going over how many spaces? You have to go over 9 to where you're right underneath Tobias. Now in order to get to Tobias, we have to go up. So in this case, because we know this number is always X and this number is always Y in our ordered pair. X is how many we went over. We went over 9 and got to Tobias. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so now we have 9, and then we have to go up how many to get to her? 1,
No.
2,
No.
3,
Yes.
3. So my ordered pair is 9, 3. Okay, now I'm gonna have, who feels pretty confident?
Me.
Okay, so show me your fingers if you feel really confident, you feel good, or mayday, I'm not getting it. We're still a little confused. Okay, so let's have one more, and then I'll have you do one. So pay really close attention, okay? So I'm gonna have you, or no, I just had you come up. So why don't you come up? Would you like Faith or Eduardo?
Eduardo.
All right, Eduardo it is. Place him anywhere you would like. Okay. And let's have you come up and tell me what is the ordered pair that tells you where Eduardo is.
Where do I write it?
You can write it right here, right on the side. So tell me what you're thinking as you're working. Tell me what you're thinking as you're working. What did you do first?
Start from the origin.
Started from origin, excellent. What did you do next?
Count to where to 3.
Correct. And then what did you do after that?
And went all the way up to 10.
Excellent. So her coordinate pair is,
310.
which means you could find, actually his, because we're working on Eduardo. So his coordinate pair is 3, 10. So if at any point I took Eduardo off of here, if I took Eduardo off of here, you could still go to where Eduardo was, which was over 3, up 10, and you could put him right back from where he fell off the ceiling. Correct? All right, you want to try give it a shot? Be brave. I'll help you. Come on up. All right, so we've got Faith is our only one left. So you're gonna place Faith wherever you would like. This is actually a perfect one. Have a little faith. All right, so pick a spot. Any spot where 2 lines cross. Maybe not where there's another fly though. Okay. All right, so we're gonna start from origin. So show me where we're gonna start. Yep, right there, good. And then are we going over or up first?
Over.
Over, so go ahead and go over. Are you right underneath her? Perfect. So that means that our X is 9. Yep. And now we have to find our Y. So how many are we going to count up to be able to pet Lovely Faith?
No.
9. All right, so her ordered pair is 9, 9. Excellent job. Yes.
Can you explain to me why we can't start up from Y and go down to X?
Because the way that a coordinate graph works is you always go over and then up. That's just the way that it is. Always, the first number in your ordered pair is always X. And your second number is always Y. So that's why when you write it, you have to go over and then up. If you went up and then over, you'd have to make sure that the numbers were in the correct spot in the ordered pair. But it's easier to not confuse yourself, to make sure that you always put X first, so you always go over first and then up, so you don't get your numbers crossed. Because 10-3 would look very different than 3-10. Does that make sense? Okay, so you have to have the numbers in the correct order to find the right coordinate. Any confusion? We're good?
But like,
Good? Good? Confused? Mayday? Okay, go ahead.
like how come you can't fit the numbers like if it was 10-3 and 3-10, it can switch them around. Why can't you do that like in multiplication? You can do that.
In multiplication you can. That's a good question. But see, if this number tells me that's how many I go over, and this number tells me how many I go up. So if, for example, I decided that I was gonna do 3, 9. So we know that 9, 3 means we go 2, 9, and we go up 3. So we know that it's this little dude here. If I switched those around, and I did 3, 9, and I was trying to find him, I would go over 3 and up 9. This is not at all the same point as 9, 3. Does that make sense? Yeah, that was a great question. But that's why, because if we flop them, then we don't find whatever it is we're trying to find. And if we were pirates and we had our gold here, we would definitely want to make sure that X and Y were in the correct spot. Or we would be way over here digging for our gold and not way over here where we should be digging. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. So the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to hand you your very own charts, and you're going to decide where you're going to place Lily, Tobias, Faith, and Eduardo. You're going to give them whatever ordered pair you want, and then we're going to switch, and your partner will decide whether or not they're good enough to be able to find where you hid your feisty flies. Okay, everybody ready?
Yes.
Good.